Good morning to all. I hope you all are doing well at your home and staying healthy. Myself, Ms. Gunjan Daswani from Shiv Jyoti Educational Group Kota, welcome you all to the e-learning classes of English grammar. We are going to do the revision of active and passive voice. So first of all, let's understand what's a voice. Let's suppose I am saying something and you are listening. What I am saying, that's a voice. But if I say a sentence in a different way, that different way is voice. In grammar, we relate it to the different ways of talking the same thing, of saying the same thing in a different way. That's a voice. Let's understand. Voice of the verb tells us whether the subject of the sentence performs the action or receives the action. In simple words, I can say, if the voice of the verb tells us whether the subject of the sentence is the doer of the action or the receiver of the action. So now, voice are of two kinds, that is active voice and passive voice. So what is this voice, that is active voice and passive voice? Let's understand in brief. Active voice, a verb is said to be in the active voice if its subject is doing the action. So now, as I told you, the ways are different, but we are telling the same thing only. The ways are different for that, and the ways are two only, that is active and passive. So in active voice, we tell in a sentence that the subject is the doer of the action, subject is doing the action. As you can see in the sentence, I like mangoes. Here the subject is I and he is doing the action. That the word I is denoting the subject is doing the action over here, that he is liking mangoes. So now let's go to the second voice, that is passive voice. A verb is said to be in the passive voice if its subject is being acted upon. Like if the subject is the receiver of the action, I can say, is the subject is being acted upon over here. So now you can see, mangoes are liked by me. In active voice, there was a sentence, I like mangoes. But in passive voice, the passive voice of that sentence is, mangoes are liked by me. Right? The action is being done by the subject over here. So now, there are some rules for changing the active voice into passive voice. What are that rules? So first rule is, object of the verb becomes subject and vice versa. When we are converting active into passive, the object of the verb that is being done in the sentence, that converts into the subject of the passive voice. So now the vice versa, like the situation here, reverse also, as being reversed also, like the subject of the verb, the passive active voice converts into the object of the passive voice. Okay. Second is, use third form of the verb. Whenever we are converting active into passive, remember one thing, that we will be only using the third form of the verb. Not the first form, not the second form, only the third form of the verb. Future continuous does not form passive voice. We form passive voice according to the tense, but future continuous tense does not form any passive voice. If anybody asks you that future continuous change their voice or what, then you will say no, because it does not form passive voice. Now keep this in mind. Please listen to it very carefully, students. Changing of pronouns. Whenever we convert active into passive, whenever we are converting active voice into passive voice, what happens? If in the subject's place there is a pronoun, what we will be doing is, we will be changing that pronoun into these pronouns over here. You can see, if the subject pronoun is I, the object pronoun will be me. If the subject pronoun is he, the object pronoun will be him. If the subject pronoun is she, then the object pronoun will be her. If the subject pronoun is they, then them, we, us, and it will remain it only. And you depends on the subject. That is, if you are talking about myself, then I will be converted into me. But if I am not talking about myself, then it will remain you only that time. But remember this thing, keep these things in mind, because this will be included, this will come in your higher classes too. Now we are converting these active into passive according to the tense. Now the first tense, that is present tense, and let's see the structure, and then we will be seeing the example. Okay. Now first is present tense, and in present tense we are talking about simple present tense. So the structure for changing active into passive is object. Like I told you, whenever we are converting active into passive, object will come in the first, then is, am or are. If the object is singular, then we will be using is. If the object is plural, then we will be using are. So object is, am, are plus third form of the verb, that is the past participle form of the verb, and then it will be joined by the preposition. The preposition by will come, and then after that the subject. Subject, if it's the pronoun, then we will be changing according to the subject pronoun and object pronoun table that I told you before this slide. Okay. You can see the example over here. He plays football. Here you can see he is the subject, plays is the verb, and football is the object over here. So now when we are converting this active voice, this sentence into passive, what we are doing is, we know he is the subject, plays is the verb, and football is the object. Let's look at this, and then we will be converting in this only. Like you can see, first the object will come. So in this sentence, object is football, so football, and then football is singular, right? So what we will be using is, that is football is, and the third form of the verb. Now plays, third form is played. Played will be accompanied by the preposition by, and then he will be converted into him. So football is played by him. Okay. Coming to the second tense, that is present continuous tense. You can see object, the structure of converting active voice into passive voice for this tense, that is present continuous tense, is object plus is, am, are according to the object. If the object is singular, then is, plural then are, then being will be added, because we are talking about continuous tense over here, and then the third form of the verb, and then by, and then what? Subject. So now as you can see over here, I am reading a book. You can see I is what? I is subject over here, am reading is the verb, and a book is the object. So now we are converting this sentence into passive. So first what will come? Object. So in this sentence, object is a book. Then we will be looking, if the object is singular, then we will be using is. If the object is plural, then are. So what will come? A book is what? There we are talking about only single book only over here. So a book is. Then being will be added, being, and then the third form of read, that is read. So being read by me. Okay, I will be converted into me. Coming to the second type of sentence, that is tense, that is past tense. And in past tense we are going to see the simple past tense first. So the structure for converting active into passive for simple past tense is object plus was or were. Was and were because we are talking about the past. So was and were plus third form of the verb and plus by plus subject. So now let's see the example. I saw a movie. This is the active voice. Subject is I, saw is verb, and a movie is the object. So now when we are converting this into passive, we will be doing it according to this structure. So what will come first is subject, that is a movie. So a movie, and we are just talking about singular only, singular object, then was. So a movie was. Third form of saw, that is saw is the second form of the verb, and we have to convert it into the third form of the verb. So saw's third form is seen, then by preposition we will add, and then subject, that is I, and I will be converted into me. Okay. Coming to the second tense, that is past continuous tense. Past continuous tense structure is object plus was over plus being plus verb third form plus by plus subject. So let's look at the active voice over here. He was watching a movie. So now he is the subject over here, was watching is the verb over here, and a movie is the object over here. Now so he was watching a movie. So he is the subject, was watching is the verb, and a movie is the object. So now let's convert it into passive voice by this structure, according to this structure. So first what will come? Object, that is a movie, then was over according to the object. A movie, we are talking about only single movie over here. So was, and then it will be accompanied by being, and then watch, that is the third form of the verb watch, that is watched, preposition by, and then him, that is he is converted into him over here. Coming to the last tense, that is future tense. As I told you, future continuous tense does not form passive voice. So we will be just studying about simple future tense. So object plus will, shall plus be plus verb third form plus by plus subject. This is the structure for simple future tense. So let's see the example. She will play tennis. So now she is the subject, will play is the verb, and tennis is the object over here. So now when we are converting this sentence into passive, we will keep this structure in our mind, that is object will come first, that is tennis, then will, as we have seen, will or shall, then we will be using will over here. Still in shall we don't use many a times. Now shall's use is being omitted from the modern English, we can say. So we will be using in most places we can use will only. So now tennis will be, that is tennis will be third form of the verb play, that is played by she is converted into her. So tennis will be played by her. So this was all about active and passive voice. So there are two ways of saying the one thing, the same thing only. There are two ways, that is active and passive. The meaning of the sentence is the same, but the ways are different. So as I hope you all have understood this. So now let's solve this exercise. Question 1, change the following sentences from active voice to passive voice. So first sentence is Ram plays cricket. Here Ram is what? Is the subject. Plays is verb and cricket is object. So first we have to identify the tense. So you can see there is no ing over here. We are just using the first form of the verb. So this is what? Simple present tense. So the rule that would be applicable over here, the structure that would be applicable over here would be of simple present tense. So let's put it according to the structure and let's answer this one. First the object will come, that is cricket. Then cricket is, we are talking about object is singular, then what we will be using is or are, is. So cricket is third form of the verb, that is play. Third form is played by Ram, because we are not using any pronoun over here. So if the name is there in the subject place, we will be at the object's place also in the passive voice, then that name will only come over there. So cricket is played by Ram. Okay. Coming to the second sentence, she helps the boy. Here also we can see we are not using any ing over here, and only the verb first form is there. So which tense it is? Simple present tense. So here also we will be applying the rule of the structure of simple present tense. So here the subject is she, helps is verb, and the boy is the object. So the boy will come first when we will be converting this sentence into passive. So the boy is, because we are talking about one boy only over here. So the boy is. Third form of help, that is helped by, she will be converted into her. Okay, as I told you according to that table that I told you, that you have to keep that in mind. So she will be converted into her. So the boy is helped by her. So now rest you have to do in this way only that I told you, and I hope you have understood this chapter. Stay fit, stay at your home. Thank you.